Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Charlotte Chong. Moving on to our companies in the news. It is, of course, earnings season. And if any of you watching want us to talk about a particular company, because there'll be a lot of them coming up, please leave it in the comments. But at this point, we are picking a REIT, MRCB-Quill Capital, up about 0.88% to RM1.15. So the reason why we chose this was for the very simple fact that they had a 76.4% jump in net profit. And this was due to higher rental income. But of course, we were talking about this, Charlotte, and I had this feeling that if you win a gold medal at the Olympics, unfortunately, when you go again, they'll still want you to win gold medals, won't they? Unless you're New Zealand, go All Blacks.
This company actually owned about 11 buildings worth 1.6 billion. Inside their portfolio actually include Wisma Technic, Platinum Central, and part of Plaza Mont Kiara. And like what you say just now, apart from higher rental income, they also see an increase in rental rate.
Yeah, so the reason why for that, of course, was they fully took in Platinum Central, which, have you been?
Yes, I
yes,
have.
exactly.
Yes.
So the thing about these guys is they do tell you that they are concerned. They are concerned about the fact that there's a pressure on the prices of commercial properties. You know, never mind, you know, we were talking earlier about Sanichi going into it. You know, these guys also feel that. Because let's be honest, when we drive around KL at night, do we see a lot of offices lit up? Do we?
No, but I think they are actually feeling the heat now that, you know, growing office supply. They are worried that they might not be able to rent their offices out in KL.
So that's the big thing. And okay, but put it this way, REIT in a way is a basket of properties. It protects you because you don't actually, you're not taking a risk on one building, you're taking a risk on a lot of buildings. So I think as long as you have some prize stallions in your stable, you don't have to worry about whether one of them is going to go lame. But I don't know, do you believe the story of commercial property, or you think it's so tough?
I do.
Why? I mean, what
because when you put
confidence?
everything into a basket, some riskier assets will, you know, some less risky assets will even out the riskier assets, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I understand that you sort of like hedge your bets, but looking at the property market in general, Platinum Central, Mont Kiara, do you think that people will still want to buy in here?
I think there's still, you know, business doing okay, you know, as like food and beverage, you know, company like that.
Well, you know, Malaysia and malls, right? It's always very, very tough. But anyway, just to wrap it all off, MRCB-Quill REIT, by the way, just to make sure what we're talking about, they actually had a 76.4% jump in net profit due to higher rental income. Of course, they actually had additional income from Platinum Central, which, given how it's located, is probably one of the highest ones. So the problem is they do see some pressure from the fact that there's a glut of commercial space. But again, I think people think that as long as you have your prize pony, and things are prize ponies, then it should be able to weather the storm. But moving on, of course, to our Insider Asia stock of the day. Following their trend of food, exactly. I see her reaching for it, but basically they're talking about Apollo. Does this bring back memories? For anybody watching, does this bring back memories? The fact is, these little cakes, all Apollo.
I want to say something. Do you actually feel that it's actually smaller now? Or did we grow bigger over the years?
I think that's a hard question to kind of answer, but yes, small cakes. But the fact is, they are the third time featured by Insider Asia. They're actually positive on them. They said there'll be stronger earnings because of this. A few days we were talking about a happy triple whammy, right? You'll have weaker commodity prices, weaker ringgit, and the fact is they export a lot of their stuff. I think that's going to be good for them. But
so about
this just brings back so much nostalgia. I'll look at it while you keep talking.
So about 40 to 50% of his sales are exports to Asia, mainly Asia Pacific region, and that's why Insider Asia, they are upbeat on this stock because, you know, because of the weakening ringgit, because of strengthening in US dollar. And when we look at commodity prices of sugar actually declined by 10.8%. When we look at prices of flour, or they call it flour, dip about 17.2%.
Well, you say tomato, I say tomato, I say flour. Anyways, so the fact is the share price actually hasn't performed. But I'm kind of not surprised because this company is one of the oldest on the bourse, and it will not jump unless I think somebody says they want to buy it over. It's only up about 6.7% over the past 1 year. So of course, Insider Asia seems to think that you could have a buy. If you look at the chart the way it is now, I mean, the share price already went down about 0.94% to 5 ringgit 25. They do say the thing is, compared to its peers, the valuations appear very, very well.
So valuation
appealing.
It's actually about 13.8 times. If you look at Oriental Foods, it's at 19.8 times, and Hop Sing is at 21.5 times. So it's still relatively cheaper than its peers.
And Insider Asia being Insider Asia, they wouldn't like the stock if there wasn't a dividend, wasn't there? So the dividend per share, they still think it's going to hold for about 25 cents for 2016, supported by, of course, cash-rich balance. You're talking about bucket loads of it and low capex requirements. Never mind what this does to my waistline.
And IA actually say, Insider Asia actually say the net cash, it's at 100 million or 1.25 ringgit per share, double from end 2012.
Well, let's see how their numbers is, because if you looked at their earnings, right, and so far you saw a little bit in revenue, but it's 3.3%. That's pretty much nothing. But net profit definitely big jump, 5.7 to 11.2. What they're trying to say is, I think you're going to see more of this as we go on. But anyway, just to bring it home, Insider Asia's stock of the day is Apollo, in case you're wondering what it looks like. They pick it mostly because, like you said, it's only gone up. It hasn't gone up so much over the year. Good valuations, strong dividend, all ticking the boxes, and basically that's why they love it. And it's again part of their food series. So if you want to follow the whole thing, there's the edgemarkets.com. But that's all for us. We're going to go over and eat cake in a minute. But in the meantime, you can go over to the edgemarkets.com or pick up a copy of the Edge Financial Daily to know more about every single story that we talked about today. I'm Nadia Hassan. She's Charlotte Chong. Good night.